So we really appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to let us go through all of the features we have in the BoxCast dashboard. So we'll hop right into our presentation right now, called "I Didn't Know BoxCast Could Do That." And just so you know a little background for why we came up with this, we realized there's a ton of features that we have to offer in the BoxCast dashboard outside of just live video streaming that'll help you get more viewers, enhance your streams, and provide an awesome viewing experience. So we want to go through a few of those today. And this presentation isn't just designed for people that are current BoxCast customers. If you're not familiar with BoxCast and you want to get a feel for some of the things we have to offer, you're going to learn a lot today. But we would recommend, if you are a BoxCast customer in today's presentation, that you go and log into your own dashboard, and then you can kind of follow along with us as we show you some different features that you may not have known that you had. So that being said, we'll give you a brief overview here of what we'll be doing today. First, we're going to start off by demonstrating all the features we have offered in the BoxCast dashboard. And it's a pretty extensive list, so bear with us as we get through everything. And some of them are very market specific, and some of them can be used by everybody. And then after that, we're actually really excited today to announce our newest feature release, which we have not yet announced. And you guys will be the first ones to find out about it. We'll give you a quick demo of it. We're really excited. And then following all of that, Brian and I, like I said earlier, will give you a Q&A. And if you have any questions, we can answer them live. In the meantime, like I said, though, if you do have questions, we have moderators on site ready to answer any of those within that chat feature in the chat box. So just a little introduction here. We're going to start by showing you the BoxCast dashboard. The BoxCast dashboard is the one-stop shop for managing all of your live streams and your past events. So this is just a little sneak preview here, but you can see you've got past broadcasts, you've got upcoming broadcasts, and there's a lot of other things here on these tabs on the side here. So if you become a BoxCast customer, you get one of these accounts, and this is where you manage all your events from. So now that you have a little feel for the dashboard, we'll talk about some embed tools. And just so you know, the way that we structured this, the way that Brian and I wanted to go through this is that we'll start with stuff that you do before you go live with the stream, and then we'll talk about some features that you might want to do while you're live with your stream, and then we'll show you some archiving features that we have as well, including post-production tools and so on. So starting with the embed tools, and what I mean by embed tools is just the ability that we give you to embed a video on your website. And you'll see on the left here, there's this little tab that says embed. You click on that, and then you get a field of information here. And this is the code, the one that I'm highlighting right here. This is the code that you're actually going to use to copy and paste stuff onto your website. And I'd say most of our clients, wouldn't you say, actually do embed directly on their sites?
Yeah, exactly. That is, that's what we'd like to happen. We would like you to get your content out to as many places as possible, whether that be your website, YouTube, Facebook. We'll go through all that today. For the most part, what you see here on the embed code will work for probably 70% of our clients. But we do also have a lot of clients who like to get customized and specific. Whether they show all their broadcasts, whether they show just the live broadcast, whether this is an embed code for their app, for mobile app, or website. So there's a lot of different things you can do here.
Cool. So we'll hop into some advanced settings down here, and you'll see within these advanced settings, there's a variety of features we have to offer with your embed codes. So the first check mark that you'll see is an autoplay feature. So if somebody lands on your website, this will automatically play the stream that's live for them. They don't even have to click the play button. And then if you go below that, you'll see we have the ability to add a countdown timer. And then you'll see we have the ability to collect donations. Now, I want to give you a little sneak preview of what a donations tab would look like. So we actually let viewers come in, and if especially if you're a nonprofit organization or you're just looking to raise funds, people can actually go and donate while they're watching your live stream. So here's a preview of an embed code with that countdown timer right there. And then there's a little donate button right here. If your viewers click that donate button, a little paywall comes up, and BoxCast handles all the processing. And they can select a specific amount that they want to donate to you, and then they just enter their credit card information from there, and it's as simple as that. So that's a really easy and quick way to raise money for your organization if people like what you're doing, regardless of the industry that you're in. So moving on from there, we have the ability to add a custom thumbnail image, and that's, I'm sure you've seen with many YouTube videos and Vimeo videos, you can add a little poster that appears before the image. And if you check that box, you'll see a little browse tab comes up, and we can click that. And for the purpose of today, we're going to use a picture of my dog, you know. So we're going to use her, and we're going to show that, and then we'll preview it with the countdown timer and the donations. And if we click Preview Embed Code, this will give you an idea of how that will look on your website. And if you'd like, feel free to use the rights to poster images of my pup. And then after that, not only do we have the ability to do thumbnail images, but we can do pre-broadcast videos. And those are really cool because if you have marketing videos or highlight reels or anything you want to play for your viewers before you go live, that's a really awesome functionality. So again, just clicking Browse, going through, selecting a video that you'd want to see, and then saying Preview Embed Code, and this is just the video that we did as a promotion for this webinar. You would go in and you would see the countdown timer, and then you would see, wow, that actually buffers, but you would see this video start to play, and then people will be able to see that, and then once you go live, that video will disappear. Another really awesome feature that just makes your broadcast a complete live experience embedded onto your website. So now we'll go ahead, and then Brian's actually going to give you some real-world examples of customers that are doing embedding really well. But before that, one point I did want to make is that if you are embedding on your website, one thing I definitely recommend, especially to get more viewers for your streams, is to make it really easy to find. Don't hide it anywhere. A live video is the most urgent thing happening on your website. So if you can't put it on your homepage, put it somewhere easy to find. You can see Life Point Baptist Church here has a live stream tab right here, and then if you click that, then their embedded player is immediately available. So just a quick tip from us on getting more viewers. But from there, Brian will take it away.
Yeah. So we're going to show you a couple just examples of ways to embed or ways to use the platform. What you're seeing here is one of our church clients actually using the BoxCast TV page. So not only can you embed it on your website, maybe you don't want that traffic on your website, you'd rather us host that, send people here, completely fine. You can see they're using the countdown timer. They've also got a pre-roll video going, so it's greeting everybody as that goes. But what they've also chose to do too is include their related videos and past broadcasts. So you can get an idea, if you're waiting for something to go live, you can check out some past videos. You can share it on Facebook. You can share it on Twitter. So just some fun little tips there when you're using the platform.
You definitely have the ability to search past broadcasts in case people need to go way back in your archives. So if you have archives from a year ago or a couple years ago, people can find all of that on that embedded player on the site. So you can search through those and find them. It's a really awesome feature. And then the one other thing I'll say in this instance is it's really great that the pastor actually introduces himself before he goes live. So he makes his viewers online feel welcome. And then he doesn't just make it about the people that are on site, but the people that could be watching from anywhere in the world, really.
Right. Yeah, great way to welcome viewers into what you're doing, whether you're a church or a school or just any organization. Getting out kind of the expectations of what you're going to see or what to expect from your organization. So the next example here is Thomasville Road Baptist Church. They do a great job of embedding this right on their website. Again, they've got the pre-roll image, the countdown timer. You can scroll down. They've got related videos as well. You notice how this one's at the bottom. You can actually customize how some of this falls on your web page, and feel free to reach out to us if you have questions about how to kind of customize that or to make it look better within your web page. So again, they've got 28 pages of videos here that you can scroll through and search through, and again, just making that content available to everybody who's looking for it. And let's see. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it on the embedding there.
All right, sweet, thank you. So moving on to the next thing, we're going to talk about scheduling events now, which is probably the next thing I think you would probably do after you embed it on your website. You might actually schedule a test broadcast or your first stream. So if we move back to the dashboard, we can click Schedule a Broadcast here. And Just so you know ahead of time, there, just like the embedding tools, I'm going to be explaining quite a few features in steps 1 through 5 here on the scheduling functionality of the dashboard. So if you click schedule an event, you can give it a quick name, something like test. We'll just call this test for the sake. And then there's a source button here. And if you use our broadcaster app, which allows you to stream directly from your iPhone, you can select the broadcaster app or BoxCast switcher or single-use RTMP stream. From there, you can actually see there's 2 different modes of entering in a schedule here. There's a wizard, which goes through all 5 steps in these categories you can see, or there's a quick entry, and some of you may not be familiar with this, but if you click the quick entry, this is just a faster way to enter all your information in really quick, especially if you want to schedule very quickly, and you can do it all from the same tab. But for the purposes of showing you all of our features, I'm actually just going to go into the wizard here. So we'll go to the scheduled part, and this is where you decide when you want your stream to start, what the date and time for it is. And you may notice this is, there's a little checkbox here that says make this a recurring broadcast. And the reason this is an awesome feature is so if you have content that you stream on a weekly basis, like every Sunday, you know you're going to be streaming a 9 a.m. service, or you have soccer games every Thursday at 6, et cetera, this will allow you to have streams reschedule on a daily or weekly or monthly basis. And you can see you can have them end after a certain number of occurrences, and it'll just clone the event, and it'll actually just have it repeat for a certain period of time.
Yeah, be careful though, if you do make changes, you know, if you reschedule something or you start different holiday hours for your services during the winter, make sure you go back and update those, and don't forget about those, because you will be streaming if you don't change them.
Yeah,
so.
we'll go live
We'll
whether
let
you know it or not. So moving on to next, we actually do at BoxCast have a scoreboard overlay functionality, which is a really nice way to display your team's scores during a live event. And you can see from here on this pull down, these are all the sports we have to offer. For the purpose of today, I'm just going to pick basketball. And from here, you can see that we allow you to select different scoreboard makes and models. We do have wireless scoreboard tools that will allow you to connect your scoreboard. But for the purpose of staying within the dashboard, we'll just select manual. And that's actually the easiest way for you to get started. And it's included with most of our sports plans that you'll be able to add a manual scoreboard and from the dashboard actually adjust the scoreboard overlay. And I'll show you that in a second. But while you're filling that out, you'll be able to select a home team. And then you'll be able to select away team. You can select where you want the overlay to display, whether it's top or bottom of the stream. And then from here, you can actually stay really on brand with your team and select the hex color, or you know, get as close as possible. Do whatever you want, and then select colors for your team, and then from there move on. And it takes just a couple seconds to add an overlay to your stream. Following that, we'll get to the publish page, and you'll see here you have the option to schedule private, public, and ticketed events. And if you're not familiar, you can actually, Brian will go into this later, but you can actually set a ticket price for your broadcasts. But today we'll go ahead and select public. And then from there, you'll see this button right here that says social media broadcast settings. And before I get into that, I want to kind of explain the ability of BoxCast to do simulcasting. So we'll swipe over real quick here. And we'll talk about simulcasting for a second. And if you're not familiar with what that is, it's just the ability to take one stream and put it in multiple places at the same time. And at BoxCast, we give you the ability to go to Apple TV, Roku, Facebook Live, and YouTube Live. So your content can live everywhere all at the same time, and that can let you get more viewers. And Brian will go ahead and give us an example now of a customer succeeding with it.
Yeah, exactly. So Long Island Ducks came to us about a year ago. They're a semi-professional baseball team out of New York, and they had been live streaming straight to YouTube for about a year. Had some success, but wasn't really happy with the numbers that they were getting. They thought they would have more viewers and reach more people. And people kept asking, like, hey, I can't find you guys. Where can I find the live stream? So they came to BoxCast. We worked with them for a couple months figuring out, okay, exactly what they wanted to do, where they wanted to stream to. And it was just a perfect fit. Now they stream to their webpage, they stream to Facebook and YouTube. And you can see down there at the bottom of the page some of the likes and subscribers they have. Are pretty significant. And when you look at their viewership from a game earlier this year, they had over 1,400 views, and only 320 of those looks like were on YouTube. Now, if they were only continuing to stream on YouTube, roughly 1,000 people would not have found them that night. So just kind of shows you the power of being able to simulcast, reach more people, get your message out, and really once you've set those accounts up once, it's really easy to make either those reoccurring events, so they go out to those places every time, or you can do it individually and pick and choose where you want to stream to. But again, with the BoxCast platform, we open it up to a lot of different places to get your content out to.
For sure. And the way I like to think about simulcasting is just, you're just casting a wider net for more people to be able to go into your content. And not everybody is actually on Facebook, or maybe not everybody is on YouTube, and this is just a better way to capture more viewers and also help build your Facebook and YouTube presence on top of that.
Yeah.
So I'll show you how easy that is to do within the BoxCast dashboard. Once you click Show Social Media Broadcast Settings, there's a Facebook Live icon here. So we'll click that if we want to go to Facebook Live. And then for whatever Facebook web pages that you're an administrator of, you can select. So for this case, I'll just select BoxCast, but I could also do it on my own personal page and any other thing that I'm involved in. And then, if you wanted at the same time to go to YouTube Live, if you link your account, really easy in the BoxCast dashboard, you can go ahead and select that. And then you can decide whether you actually want it to be public or unlisted or private. So when we actually go live with these webinars, we do test streams to YouTube Live, and we select them as unlisted first, so we can check them out, make sure they look good, and then once we're ready to go live, we select public. And then you'll see this third icon here, which says Other RTMP, and what that basically allows you to do outside of Apple TV, Roku, Facebook, and YouTube is to stream to any other destination you might be interested in. So if you're into gaming and you want to go to Twitch, or if you're really interested in the Periscope platform or any other streaming service, you can go ahead and click that and fill out the fields here for a custom stream URL.
And you can easily go to multiple Facebook and YouTube pages again just by clicking those icons again, bringing up another destination and adding those in there.
Yeah. And one last thing I'll mention is you're not just limited to one Facebook page. That's the nice thing here is if I wanted to stream to BoxCast Facebook page and then I wanted to stream to my own, I'd have that ability, and both accounts would be live streaming. So it's a really nice tool, and hopefully you can take the full advantage of it. And then once you move from there and you get to the confirm page, this is just a really nice way to confirm all of your settings. But then we also have the option to go into a little more advanced technical settings. So I'll show you that real quick right here, which you can select. If you have password protection enabled, you can put a password in front of your stream to gate it. Then you can also go ahead and select a video bitrate. For the most part, we actually recommend that you leave this on default because BoxCast will select the optimal bitrate within your network. But if you have a limit on bandwidth that you want to stay within, you can go ahead and hard code it. Same thing with audio. And then there's a tab here, and some current BoxCast customers might actually not be aware of. This is where you can actually, if you have a separate audio source, like an audio mixer or a microphone or any other source like an instrument, and you want to go into the BoxCaster's analog inputs right here, and you don't want to send audio directly over HDMI, then you would come in here and select analog, and then the two sources would mix. So video and audio would line up together, coming from your mixer and your camera separately. So that's just one other feature. And then you can, of course, hard code a video resolution. So for now, we'll just click Schedule this broadcast. And we'll swipe over. And then we'll talk about scoreboard overlays. So scoreboard overlays, like I said, are a great tool to add more functionality to your stream. And just to show you what that manual setting looks like, if you were to click into this, you actually have the ability to click +3 for score or +2 for home score, and you can select the quarter and stuff like that. And then those will update live in real time. Unfortunately, we don't have a stream for you today outside of what we're streaming to show you that, but if you want more demos, you can contact Brian.
Yeah, it's real simple to use. I mean, it's really as basic as you see here. And what's great about it is you can hire a graduate assistant or a student from the university or college if you're looking to do scoreboards, or even a parent of a high school team. So getting volunteers can be hard, but this is a really easy thing for them to use. I mean, they could also even do this from their seats using their iPhone or iPad. They don't have to be like on a laptop or in a separate room or at the score table. Like this person could be at home watching, keeping score for the live stream.
Yeah, so you could adjust it from our broadcaster app as well. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, so
that's a great
very
tool.
cool and easy to use.
So moving past scoreboard overlays, and just so you know, these are the features we were talking about. These are things you might do while you're live. We're going to talk about highlight clipping. Highlight clipping is just a really great way to, in the moment, I'll move on to another dashboard. It's going to get a little meta here because I'm going to show you the stream of our own stream. So it's going to be kind of Inception-like.
Yeah,
but,
if we get caught, don't worry. I'll just knock over Josh and we'll be back to real life.
Yeah,
so
that'll work.
Be good.
So say I just really liked something that I said during this webinar, during this live event, and this is an archive, or this is a live stream of ourselves right now. I could go in and click on this little camera icon right here, and I could say, you know, call it like great moment or something like that, and then I could go ahead and select from the moment that I saw it happen, how far I wanted to go back and have that stream start. So if it was a touchdown you saw, you could say, oh, well, maybe it happened about 90 seconds ago, and this is all editable, but you can go back and you select that, and then you can save the highlight. And then the highlight will take a couple of seconds to process. It'll go through some processing, and then it'll be instantly shareable on Facebook, and you can embed it on your website if you want. We can also show a highlights grid on your website, which is another great tool. You can download the MP4 file right away if you want to, and you can share it on Twitter and get it out to the world. The reason that I really like this tool is because I think what it allows you to do is it allows you to market your stream while it's happening and let people know, like, hey, this really awesome thing just happened during our live event.
Yeah, I love on the weekends, I'll do a Twitter search for just BoxCast, and I'll find all the highlights people uploaded throughout the weekend, and it's kind of fun to get your own little ESPN Top 10 going. So we've actually had quite a few highlights show up on ESPN Top 10 just by people clipping them here, throwing them onto Twitter. People react to them, and next thing you know, you're watching your son on ESPN.
Yeah, and this tool is not limited to just sports either.
Right. On
top of that, if you have a keynote speaker or pastor and they say a line that you really love, you can just go in and capture the highlight in that moment. And there's an unlimited amount that you can capture, and then eventually, like I said, you can download them and create a highlight reel of sorts if you want. So we'll go ahead, and you can see that was already ready to go and ready to play. And we can move on from that. But the nice thing about highlights is you can also capture them after the fact. So it's not just a live tool, and I'll show you that in a little bit. So moving on or actually, I'll just show you a sample highlight clip while we're at it.
Hopefully,
so this
Chris
is
at John Carroll is watching here today. He'll appreciate this.
Yeah, he would really like this. I like this love that we're giving him. But this is also an example you can see of our scoreboard overlays happening during a live event. So you could see, if you saw something like this happen live, how you may not want to wait for your stream to be over to be able to share this instantaneously. And so a cool play like that is something that, you know, even if you want to tag the athlete or something like that, there we go. And we sure love John Carroll here at BoxCast. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. All right.
So moving past highlights, we'll go into channels. And channels are just a way to kind of organize your content. The way I like to think about them is almost as if you're creating an iTunes playlist for your live events. And the simplest way to show you that is just to click the channels icon right here in your dashboard. Go ahead and create a new channel. So say if you're a sports team and you have different sports going on, we'll call this channel, we'll call this football. Or you know what, we could call it also Wednesday night services. And you want this channel, you just want to be able to create a playlist for those specific services. And then you go ahead and you create it, and then what that gives you the ability to do is to see analytics for it, to generate an embed code for it, and then to go ahead and view it on BoxCast TV. So you can just list different pages on your website for people to go ahead and watch those specific events if they're only interested in that type of content. And Brian's going to actually go ahead and give you an example right now.
Yeah, so channels is becoming more and more popular as folks kind of understand how to structure their websites and put different playlists together of videos. And so a great example here is of St. Lawrence Saints up in New York. Aaron does a great job out there, letting people easily find whatever sport they want to go to. All these links go directly to that sport. That sport's live webpage. So again, you can see what's happening live in those sports or get any archives. Similarly, if you scroll down, you can see kind of what's live or about to go live. Again, if I click on any of these, I go right into that sport. Another thing that they really do well, and we'll talk more about ticketing later, but this is also a great way if you separate things by channels, whether it be sports or days of service or whatnot. With this example, they're actually also using our monetization tool to help raise funds for the university. So you can buy sports passes, you can buy a game pass, you can buy a season pass, just different ways that they can raise money, not only for the live streaming program, but just for the school in general, for athletics, whatever it might be. They're doing a really good job here. Again, if you have any questions about how to use channels, feel free to give us a call or check out our website. We got a lot of good information about how to set those up.
For sure. So moving on to other kind of archiving features. So once your event is over, we're going to give you a variety of things that you can do with it. The first one is trimming, and this is extremely easy to use and a no-brainer for live events because there's always a little bit of dead time at the beginning and end of live events. More often than not, you're not doing a hard start and then the speaker goes live. Sometimes there's 5 minutes before and after the broadcast that you have left over, and viewers just probably won't want to watch that after the fact. So you can go in, and this part of the dashboard is, you can see this tab, it shows past broadcasts. So these are all of our past events. You can go in and you can say, well, I want to get rid of some dead time from that last stream. So in this recording controls tab, you click trim recording, and then we've got these slider bars that are really easy to edit. So if I want to get rid of this little video right here, I can go ahead and just start with when people are talking. And then I want to get rid of a little bit of a dead space right there. And then I can preview it, and I can kind of get an idea of when it's going to start and when it's going to stop, and I'm like, okay, great. That's when I want my video to go live or to play on the archive. So we can save it, and we can move on, and now there it is as an archive being trimmed. But the nice thing about this is if you do that and you're like, I don't know, maybe I did want that pre-roll video ahead of time, you can actually go back and adjust it again. So it's a non-destructive tool, and it'll update directly to your website right after that. Mm-hmm. And that's definitely just one of the most essential tools in live video streaming. And it saves you the trouble of having to download your video stream and re-upload it again as an edited file. We just do it all there in the cloud for you. So we'll save that. Moving on from trimming, I'll show you highlight clips again, and I'll show you that in this archive channel, there's a highlight clip listed here. And we can go back and we can still share it and download it like we could while it was live, but we can also go in and edit it as well. And we can just click this little edit icon, and if we weren't really happy with where the time was on it, we can adjust those sliders. So it's very similar to the look that you see with the trimming feature, and save it. But not only can you do that, but you can create new highlights while the event's over too. So if you missed it while it was live, you're not limited to just that functionality. Mm-hmm. So we'll go ahead, move on from there, and we'll go back. And the next thing we'll talk about are analytics, and Brian will actually take it over from there.
Yeah, so we've got two concepts when it comes to analytics, and most of you, if you're BoxCast clients, are aware of our the analytics summary that you normally get on the past broadcast page. And so what you see is your analytics summary. Over there on the right-hand side, which is just some basic information, how many were active, at the time you were looking at it if you were live, total watched, all time versus recorded, things like that. So some basic information, but we've gone a step further and we've included detailed analytics as well. And you can't see it on the screen. Excuse me, on the screen here. Oh, there you can see it now. So that button right there, I'm going to click that. This takes us into our enhanced analytics. And so what we've done here is we take it a step further. We still give you a lot of that total view data, but we also give you things like unique views. So this would be unique viewers based on their IP address. So even if they came and watched the same video 3 or 4 times, it's really going to count that one time. It gives you a better idea of just how popular that video was or that broadcast was.
So it's from one device, right? Like if one viewer went on their iPhone and
yes.
they clicked play, then it would only record that as one view instead of when they refresh.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. Exactly. Another great thing is view duration. So a lot of folks often wonder, how long are people watching for? What am I grabbing their attention? Are they sticking through it? And so that gives you a good basis as far as, was this a good live stream? What could I have done better? Was it better than others? Things like that. The cumulative view here is also nice. It shows you your cumulative views over a period of time. So for example, this is over 30 days. You can see how that continually increased as viewers continue to watch day after day this specific broadcast. If we scroll down, we get even more details about when viewers are watching. So what days of the week, what time of the day. This could be used for a lot of different information. Maybe you just want to see what day people are active on your website or what time. Maybe you want to send inspirational messages during those times when people are on social media. So just, a lot of use cases there. And then how viewers watch. So you can see live versus recorded, mobile versus desktop. You can see things like what browser they're using or what operating systems they're using. So, just a lot of good information that you could use in a number of different ways, depending on what type of organization you are.
I would say the playback host section there is probably one of the most valuable ones, just because you can get an idea of if they're watching on your website or from another service like Facebook Live, or depending on where you embed it, you can get an idea where most of your traffic is actually coming from on the web.
Yep. And you also, guys, these are, you can actually strike out some of these in the legend here where you see the colors. If you click on it, it'll take that away, and then you can kind of focus on that pie chart a little bit closer. As you can see, if I can't really see that orange part here, but if I take that away, now I can get a little bit deeper into that data. Same thing with with the operating systems too here. If you want to really kind of dig deeper, you can play with those. Lastly, and probably my favorite, is where viewers watch. So this gives you the geolocation of where your viewers are coming from. We kind of break it down into regions. It's not going to give you exact street addresses, obviously, but this is great for trying to figure out where your viewership's coming from. Is it local? Is it is it here in the U.S.? Is it around the world? Where are we reaching people from? So that's just a great tool to kind of share with not only yourself, but also with your team, whether it be your church or college or school. Where hey, look at this. Look how many people we're reaching across multiple countries and all over the world.
Right.
So something to be proud of when you kind of see dots all over the map here.
For sure. If you have that kind of global reach, then you're definitely doing something right.
Yeah.
But yeah, for sure, the analytics tool, definitely one of the most fun to play around with, and definitely a great way to kind of analyze your streams and see what's working and what's not. So moving on from there, we'll talk about downloading and export, and we'll actually come back here in the picture-in-picture method in a second here too. But the download and export capability allows you to, as I swipe back over the dashboard, when an event is archived, you can actually see this tab right here. It says download or export recording. And from there, what that gives you the ability to do is it allows you to generate an MP4 download. So from there, what you can do is, it doesn't really take very long at all either. That'll spin up. But you can actually download the MP4, and then you can archive it, and then you can go into an editing program like Final Cut or Adobe Premiere or anything like that, and then right there, now it's finished. And then it'll create an MP4 download just like anything else that you would see. And then you can also share download link as well. So if you want to send to a coach or like somebody else in your community, you want to give them the ability to get the MP4 file, you can just copy that download link. You'll send it over to them, and it's a public link once you copy it, so you can send it over to them, and then they can have your file as well. That's a really nice tool in case you need to file share outside of the BoxCast dashboard. The other reason I really like the downloading feature, and this is included for like highlights and stuff like that, is you can take snippets of the best moments of your events, and you can create like a highlight reel from all your favorite moments from all your live streams.
Yeah. I suggest it all the time to my SIDs and ADs from different colleges or even high schools. Like, start creating that highlight film from day one. Don't wait until the end of the season to have to put that together and spend a week on it, before your banquet. Start doing it now. Get them ready. Get them in order. It'll be a lot easier for you later.
Yep. And then the other cool feature we have, which will save you a ton of time, especially from an uploading perspective, is YouTube and Vimeo direct export. So actually, since this one's already been exported, I'll go to another archive and show you. But if I wanted to go ahead and export or link my YouTube and Vimeo accounts, and some of you may have presences just like us. We have a YouTube presence and we have a Vimeo presence. What we like to do is we like to shoot those live streams right over to YouTube, and then we don't have to download the file and re-upload it again. So that'll save you a ton of time and a ton of strain on your upload bandwidth. But you can see right here, you just select your user and you select what kind of license you have, and you can select it, your export to be public or unlisted or private. And right when you click that button, it'll take just a couple of minutes to export, and it'll appear right there on your YouTube channel and on your Vimeo channel as well. And this works the same exact way. So those are just great post-production tools that'll save you a lot of time and can allow you to share your files in a really easy way. Because video can be really dense, and it can be a real pain to take a 3-hour stream and download it, have to re-upload it back into the internet, and it just saves you a ton of time. And we'll just talk about locking features now, which are really a method. We kind of put locking features under the umbrella of things that are allowing you to gate your stream. So if you want to ticket your broadcasts or you want to put passwords in front of them.
Yeah, so great point. We've got a number of ways to do it. We have 3 recommendations when it comes to kind of protecting your stream and whatnot. So the first one we kind of mentioned earlier would be ticketing. So within the dashboard, when you're scheduling your events, you can select public, private, or ticketed. If you ticket it, every viewer would have to pay that price to view that stream. BoxCast will handle that payment cycle and share that with you after the fact, and you have information where you can see your ticket sales and things like that. But it gives you a great way to either monetize the stream. Or even if you're trying to deter people from scouting you, if you're a sports team, you can put it behind a paywall that way. Maybe other teams are going to come out and watch if they have to actually pay for something. So that's one thing to do. Another would be the password protection. So this would be putting a single password on a live stream, so that that's required in order to view it. So maybe you're having a sign-up process that is, on your website, and you're gathering emails of people who have signed up, and then you would send out that email saying, "Hey, everybody, here's your password, for the live stream. Use this on the day of." Just be careful because, while we do have some protection there as far as people sharing that password, we can't stop everybody. So just keep that in mind.
Well, I know that's a great tool in the corporate environment when there's a lot of confidential information, or maybe you're streaming like a town hall meeting or a quarterly meeting where there's information that has to stay internal. So password protection is a really nice feature for that.
Yeah, and then lastly is our newest feature, one of our newest features, geo-blocking or geofencing. So what we can do is, if you put in a zip code, you can state what radius outside that zip code you don't want people to watch that video in. And so if you're trying to drive attendance at the door or into church, if you've noticed that maybe the attendance has gone down because you've started live streaming, or you think that might be a possibility, typically it's not, but if you think it might be, it's a great way to kind of test that and to see and to drive people back into the door. So. Or maybe you have a concert going on. Again, you want to drive ticket revenue at the door. You can use the geo-blocking feature to make sure that foot traffic comes in rather than staying at home.
For sure. And I know there are definitely high schools that have restrictions on whether they can broadcast in a certain state, or they may only be able to live stream if people are watching out of that state. So if you're one of those high schools, we give you the ability to geo-block as well. So. All right, so drum roll please. We are gonna now announce our newest feature, which is the cloud overlays functionality. And I don't know if you've noticed, but this entire stream, we've had a little bug in one of these corners, and probably in that one, right? Okay, somewhere in that corner, there's a little BoxCast logo, but we're actually doing that in the cloud. And now what we've given you the ability to do in the dashboard is to add a logo or an image. I'll just show you real quick how easy that is to do. So again, going back to our really weird meta state of watching our own stream, we'll go ahead and click Overlays. And you'll see the overlay feature here, and it pulls up this frame, this very transparent frame. And you can see right now, if I click on that, that's actually where my little logo bug is moving right down there. So if I want to apply the changes, that will happen live. And if I drag that over, it will immediately apply to the live stream. I can also scale it and resize it. So if we want to be obnoxious here and just move this around to the center of the stream, there we go. And now it's in front of our faces. So to play around with this a little more, and let me hide this in the corner just so it's not in the way again. You can also upload up to 5 different other images. And the reason this is great is, especially if you're looking to monetize your streams even more, you can have advertisers come in, and you can place ads throughout different parts of your streams. You can do lower thirds for speakers, and it's a really simple tool. We allow up to 5 megabits per file, and we recommend up to 1920 by 1080 because that's what's actually going to fill out the HD stream. So if we wanted to do something, I've got some preloaded here. If we wanted to add an advertisement in, I just click Add, and then it would fill up the stream. I could scale it, or I could just leave it like that if I wanted to add a full-size ad. Apply changes, and now it's covering us right now. I'll go ahead and remove that. And if I wanted to add a picture of my beautiful dog yet again, I could go and drag this around wherever I wanted to. And then I could click, whoops. Let me get back to the overlays section. I had too much fun there. So if I wanted to add that one, I could scale it around and I could move it in the corner. If this was like a lower third or something like that, you could do that as well. And like I said, you can add up to 5. And this is a great tool to just promote your own brand, but also to bring in advertisers and other slides that you might want too. If you have a presentation and you want to bring in presentation slides, we do only let you allow up to 5, but you could do that for fill-ins.
Yeah, and again, it's, can really be used by any BoxCast customer, right? It doesn't have to be for advertising or, we foresee churches using this maybe before they go live. It doesn't always, services don't always start at 10 o'clock. But if the BoxCaster, if the live stream starts at 10 and you want to maybe wait a minute, you can put the full screen overlay that says, starting soon. Just really a lot of different things and concepts you can use this for. This is kind of our first step into the overlay feature, so we do plan on expanding the use of this. Right now it is going to only work with PNG images. So keep that in mind as you're uploading those. Make sure you do convert those before you try to use those live.
For sure, for sure. All right, so that is the extent of, it's mostly a deep dive into what is the BoxCast Dashboard, and there's plenty of other features we have to offer that we can go in beyond this. But I would start by saying, before we get into QA, if you want to learn more, we have a ton of great content on our YouTube channel. Please go ahead and subscribe, and you can hang out with me, and you can hang out with Brian Lee and a bunch of other people that we bring in for videos, and we talk about live streaming because we love to talk about it nonstop. So we try to upload a few of those every month, and then we do a monthly webinar program like this where we have a webinar every month about something live streaming related. So if you go ahead and subscribe to our channel right now, you'll get notifications anytime we upload a video or anytime we go live with a webinar. And we promise not to be spammy and annoying. Our goal is 100% to educate you and to make you better at live streaming.
Right.
So, that's another one. Moving on from there, if you have any questions, go ahead and keep typing them in the chat box. We're moving on to our Q&A soon, but you can go ahead.
We've got some already ready to go, so we'll just start reading these as we come in. So first question is, does the highlights save in real time, like updating the scoreboard, or do you have to wait until you see the play happen in the dashboard and then clipping it? So I think you can actually do it before. I think when Josh was doing it live, you can say, I want it to grab 30 seconds before, or I want it to grab 30 seconds after. And so depending on when you clicked, the camera button, you'll need to determine which way is best. I think that's.
To wait until you see the play happen in the dashboard. Mm-hmm. No, I mean once you see it happen in real life, that's when you click capture this highlight.
Question number 2: are overlays available? How do I get that feature turned on? So. We hope to have more information next week. We've got a couple of customers beta testing that right now. It's going really well, and we hope to roll that out to everybody next week. So it will depend on what plan you have, whether or not it's available or whatnot. But please give me a call or give me an email. I'd be happy to walk you through how that how that works, or when it'll be available. Question number 3, Mary asked, does the trim permanently trim? Can you go back and undo the trim?
I'll show you, actually, if we can go back to the PowerPoint, I'll show you, Mary, real quick, just how easy that is. You can go back, if you're in your archives and you click here and you see like, we want to trim this example, you can actually go back, you can drag this and you can save it. And then if you are not happy with how you trimmed it or you want to go back to the original, this is, like I said, non-destructive. You can just take the slider and you can bring it back to whatever start point you want it to start at, and then resave it again, and that will update automatically on your website or wherever else you have it streamed outside of the social platforms.
All right. Let's see. Question number 4, Michael Yarborough. Is there a different tool we need if we wanted to do a similar webinar to also screen share from a computer via BoxCast?
If you didn't need, I would say if you want to stream a webinar, you can definitely use us for that. But you would also, if you wanted, like how you see Brian and I on the screen right now, you'd have to add a camera and a video switcher. And we actually have a guy behind the camera selecting between the different video sources. And from there, we could send you some equipment recommendations for that. And it's all actually very cost effective. Sometimes people can make it out to sound really expensive, but it's actually really inexpensive to do something like this. And we just have one camera, and then our laptops are going into a video switcher, and then our director is actually just deciding when, at specific moments, he wants to show us, or he wants to show the slides, or he wants to do the combo that you saw earlier, which is where we're in the corner, and then everything else is full screened.
Josh and Wade love talking about that kind of stuff, so just reach out to us anytime.
Yeah, we'll send you the recommendations for the proper equipment.
Yeah. Question 5, and keep those questions coming, guys. We're getting down here. So Jason asked, can you talk about the multi-site player? So yeah, I'll take a little bit, I guess. So the multi-site player is, we did not touch that today.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah.
We should break that down.
Yeah, we'll add it to the next one.
So the multi-site player is a great tool if you have a second campus or second location where you're wanting to stream something live to, but you're really conscious about not having any buffering or it not going down at all. It's really kind of like a foolproof live stream that is going to be usually about 5 to 10 minutes delayed. But what happens is that the viewers really don't know, but it's collecting all that video data and making it so that the viewer side it just experiences little to really no buffering at all.
Yeah, and it'll provide a straight, clean experience for multiple campuses, as many as you want.
And again, mostly. Recommended when, again, you have a second campus of, a group of people watching something, not necessarily, used for everyday streaming by any means. This is if someone's, if you're projecting something on the wall and a bunch of people are watching it, that's what you'd be looking for there. Okay, number 6. So if I create a highlight, can I post just the highlight to Facebook?
Yeah. So if you'd like, once you go ahead and create that highlight, and I'll just show you in the screen share here. If you'd like, there's a little highlight clip section down here. And again, create as many as you want, but click on the highlight, and then you can click share on Facebook. And if you connect your Facebook account to it, then you can go ahead and write something like, watch this, and then it'll automatically post directly to your account. So that's a very simple tool. It doesn't go anywhere else besides that unless you decide for it to. So hope that answered your question.
Number 7, Mary asked, so the trimming version is taking up the same amount of storage space?
Yes,
So
because it is a non-destructive file, you're not actually removing any data that's stored in the cloud. You're just removing the way it's presented on the internet to a viewer.
That's great. That was perfect.
Thanks.
Let's see here. Any other questions, moderators? No.
Are we good?
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you so much again for taking your time and letting us walk through all of this with you. I'll go back to a slide here real quick. If you are new to BoxCast and you have any specific questions for sales, you can go ahead and email us at sales@boxcast.com. But if you want to upgrade any of your features or move on to bigger and better, then you can go ahead and email Brian directly. So thanks again, guys.